I've noticed a little problem with my new Toyota Tundra, but it's a pretty easy fix. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive FST. That's right, I have noticed a little problem with my Toyota Tundra, but it is a pretty easy fix, I think. So let me tell you what it is. I noticed the other day I was driving, it was on a high-speed road or higher speed road, 55, 60 miles an hour, something like that. And I'm cruising along, just leisurely enjoying my ride. And I noticed the steering wheel is doing a little bit of this. See how it's moving back and forth there? Just a little bit of shimmying, right? That was a little bit over-exaggerated. It's not that bad. So I got to thinking, oh man, I've got an alignment problem, or maybe even a tire problem. Who knows? Well, as it turns out, it is a tire problem, but nothing I can't fix easily myself. At least, again, I think. I got in it this morning, and I pulled up the tire pressure gauge on the dash, you know, the readings, the output. And as it turns out, I was 5 pounds low on the front left, the driver's side, 4 pounds low on the passenger side, and 2 pounds low each on the rear tires. Obviously, that's not a good thing. I mean, you can be a couple pounds low, something like that, particularly if it's consistent between all the tires, right? I mean, if they're all the same weight or the same air pressure. In this case, I wasn't. I mean, 5 pounds is a pretty good amount to be off, right? And then the other one was a pound less than that. So everything is off. So it makes sense to me that I'd get a little weird feeling in the front end and maybe even a little shimmy on the steering wheel. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to refill those tires, get them up to where they're supposed to be, and check it again. Now, this is just a simple thing that you can look at yourself, right? I've experienced this in other trucks, and that's why it dawned on me that, gee, maybe I ought to pay attention to the tire pressure. But it's something, obviously, that you can easily fix yourself. I mean, could you imagine making an appointment, and I know this has happened, making an appointment, take it into the shop, sit there, you know, first of all, waiting for them to take your truck in. That can be 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. Then they take it back there and, maybe 15, 20 minutes, half an hour later, they come out and tell you that your tire pressures were low. Something that you could have taken care of yourself, assuming you have access to a pump somewhere, but something you could have taken care of yourself in, 10 minutes at home or at the gas station, wherever you have to go to get air. I mean, pretty simple thing. So let me pull up. I'm heading back home, actually. I'm going to pull in there. We're going to fill them up to the proper temperatures, the proper pressures, and then we'll come back on, do another quick drive, and see if it's taking care of my problem. All right, did the tire filling. Now, I got to tell you, with these bigger tires, and I don't have huge tires on this truck, but man, does it take a while to fill them up, you know, especially when you're 5 pounds short. It takes a couple minutes, but it's well worth it. You know, obviously, if you're running the right tire pressure, you don't have any issues with a little bit of shimmy, you get better fuel economy, and things just feel right all the way around. So, how is it? I'm out driving around right now. We're going to come to a stoplight, unfortunately. But I am out driving around right now, and the shimmy is gone. No more shimmy. So filling up the tires to the right pressure took care of the problem. And, you know, it's amazing to me in driving around. I pay attention to this. I don't know why, probably because I hate screwing around with tire pressure anyway. But I'm always looking around at other vehicles, particularly at stoplights or something, you know, if you're beside or behind somebody. And it's amazing to me how many people are out there driving around that are low on tire pressure. And they're probably the ones complaining about the way that their vehicle handles and how bad their gas mileage is too. And you know, there is one other thing about it. You can actually have a failure. I mean, if you let your tire pressure get too low, you could have a failure. You don't want to break the bead, right? The seal that keeps the air inside the tire. You don't want to let it go so low that you break that and then you lose all your tire pressure, and you know that's a problem. Of course, if you're running low consistently, you'll probably have another issue, and that is probably a nail or something in your tire, some kind of problem with it, maybe even the valve stem, who knows. So it's something well worth looking at, especially if you've noticed you have a little bit of play or a little bit of shimmy, I think is the best way to describe it, in your front end. Check your tire pressures before you waste time and potentially money going in somewhere and having them look at it, and in the end, it just needed a little bit of air. Pretty simple. So, before I get off of here, while I'm on, how is the rest of the truck doing now? It's been another month or so, I think, since I did my little 500-mile update. Do have over 500 miles on the truck right now. And gotta say, it's still doing fantastically. Mileage has improved a little bit since the last time I talked about it. We're at 13.4 miles per gallon consistently. I think it's been a little bit higher depending on how much freeway driving I'm doing. But right now, we're at 13.4 on this trip. Of course, it hasn't been a freeway trip. It's been 55 as a high and little areas of 45 or 35 or so. So take that with a grain of salt. But 13.4 right now as we're driving around. The rest of the truck, and the one thing I love about the Toyota product, you know, somebody asked me a question the other day on the channel as to, are Toyotas really that reliable? They were driving a Chevy, and they were thinking of picking up a Toyota. I don't remember which one. But are they really that good? Are they really that quality and that reliable? And the answer is yes. You know, I've had this truck for, I don't even know, 3 months, something like that, and no issues with it. No problems, no little gremlins, no weird stuff, no rattles, nothing falling apart. I haven't seen anything that doesn't line up properly. Everything is just spot on from the day that I got it, the way that it should be, and honestly, the way that I expect it to be throughout ownership of this truck. So kudos to Toyota once again. This is my third, I believe it's my third, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, my third Toyota Tundra, and every one has been spot on from the get-go through the ownership period of time that I had them. So I like that. And to answer that person that asked me, hey, are they really quality, reliable, good trucks? The answer is yes, they are. They're proven, and that's, I think, the biggest reason why people keep coming back, especially to the Tundra. I mean, it's huge. It doesn't get the greatest gas mileage, but you can depend on it every time you turn the key. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here. I had noticed that little shimmy in the front, and I thought I'd run through it with you guys, let you know, and indeed, filling up my tires to the right pressure, go figure, actually solved the problem. One other thing I do want to mention, if you don't have one, it is worth it to pick up a compressor, you know, a tire filler pump, something that you can have at home so you don't have to screw around going to the gas station or some other place to get it filled up, which, by the way, I have found that these days, gas stations, they either don't have them or they simply don't work. So don't screw with that hassle. Get one yourself. It's well worth it. They're not that expensive. You don't have to get a Cadillac, and be able to do these things yourself. Leave a comment. Let me know. You ever experienced this? Little funkiness in your steering wheel? Realized that you needed some air, filled it up, and everything was fine? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay pressurized out there. Bye.